get to see those two go head-to-head tonight. Both Kevin Durant, Steph, they're now 36 and still prolific scorers. KD's 27.2 points a game since turning 35, and the most in NBA history, while Steph is third behind only KD and LeBron, and of course just ahead of Michael Jordan. That is elite company right there. Now joining us, our Warriors reporter live from Chase Center, Ohm Youngmisuk. So, Ohm, we're just about 6 days away here from the NBA trade deadline. The Warriors still on the outside of the play-in looking in. What's their mindset heading into the second half of the season?
Malika, league sources have told me the Warriors certainly are looking to see what deals can be out there for them to make. As our Shams reported earlier in the week, Jimmy Butler's a name that's been discussed on that team. Zach LaVine is another guy that potentially could be someone they could look at. I know this, Mike Dunleavy is going to be in sync with Steve Kerr, Stephen Curry, and Draymond Green on whatever moves they make. He told me earlier this season that he keeps them in the loop, and as he says, he wants to maximize their championship window. And he told me, we're going to be knocking on a lot of houses, seeing what we can buy. Some people are going to be sellers. Some are not going to be sellers. But he's certainly going to be out there looking to see what he can do to improve the team. Now, help could be on the way, Malika. If the Warriors practice on Saturday, Draymond Green is expected to practice. He has not played since the 18th when he suffered a calf injury. And they're going to have to take it very cautiously with Draymond Green because calf injuries that you have seen this season have been everywhere with a lot of players, and some players that come back too early, like Aaron Gordon, can suffer it again and be out for a while. So they're going to be careful with that. And Jonathan Kuminga, he's probably at least a couple more weeks away from being reevaluated and seeing if they can bring him back onto the practice floor. He's going to start doing some stuff slowly, but he's been out since January 4th, Malika, with a ankle injury.
And that sort of corresponded to when their season started to go off the rails a little bit here. Ohm, thank you so very much. I want to bring in the rest of our panel here because the Suns, the Warriors, they face off tonight. We've heard Ohm just mention that both of these teams have been targets for Jimmy Butler, right, Brian? Is there a team, when you're looking at these two, that needs to make a more impactful move ahead of this deadline?
I mean, Phoenix needs to make the move, but I don't see how they can because they're over the second apron. They don't have any draft picks to trade that have high value. They have some low-level draft picks to trade, and they're really hemmed in. Whereas the Warriors have all kinds of different contracts. They own all of their draft picks, and they're under the second apron just a little bit, but they're under it. So the Suns need it more, but I think it's more likely that the Warriors get something done.
I'm with Wendy. The Suns need it more, but the Warriors are not going to. I think they should stand pat this season, to be honest with you. You know. Is
that because they got off to like a hot start and maybe there's something?
Nah, because do they need another piece? Absolutely. But damn it, Steph don't want no puppy.
He want a big dog.
That's what he want. He want a big dog. I appreciate y'all picking up that live out through. Listen.
You were smirking.
Nah, seriously, no.
Something was coming.
Yeah, it was. But seriously, Jimmy Butler is not moving the needle for the Golden State Warriors, okay? Zach LaVine is not moving the needle for the Golden State Warriors. He need a big dog, and you just waited out to the offseason.
You saying Jimmy Butler's not a big dog?
Not enough to move the needle.
But is he a big dog for the Phoenix Suns, Perk? Is he a big dog for the Phoenix Suns?
Yeah. Because he fit right there with KD and Devin Booker.
That's my point exactly. Yeah. And as Wendy said, they're the most expensive team in the NBA. At some point, you need to get bang for your buck, and that means you have to try to make it happen. Now, I know it's not that realistic, but this is a team that really struggles to gain separation in their wins. They're 24 and 22. So I look at the Suns as like, let's try to make this happen ASAP.
I see Wendy shaking his head.
I know it's not possible.
No, go ahead.
Oh, the big dog?
Yeah. All right, that's the second game of our doubleheader. I do want to get to the first. It features the Nuggets and the Sixers, but it's been anything but smooth sailing for the process this season. It's a little hard to trust right now, if you catch my drift. That's not how things looked when Philly made the biggest splash of the offseason by signing Paul George to a max deal. The day after that agreement, the Sixers had the third shortest odds to win the championship. Injuries, of course, they played a large part in Philly's fall. Joel Embiid, he's missed 33 games. Paul George, another 16. And because of all of that, Philadelphia's big three, Embiid, PG, Maxey, they played in just 10 of 46 games together this season. And, of course, the 76ers have been a below-average team on both ends of the ball, right? Ranking 22nd in offensive and defensive efficiency. That puts them just outside of the play-in picture entering this game tonight against Denver. But lately, Hey, things have been looking up a little bit. The 76ers, they've won 4 consecutive games. That's tied for their longest win streak of the season. And hey, Kendrick Perkins, I hear that you spy exactly why the Sixers have been back to their winning ways.
I'm Kendrick Perkins, better known as Big Perk, and nothing gets past me. Freeze! Just when you thought it did get past me, there I am. I spy a problem. I spy it all. Carry the hell on. Hello, world. Happy Friday. Hey, look, I do spy a problem for the Philadelphia 76ers, but it's a good problem. It's Tyrese Maxey, right? And over the last few games, he has been dominating and showing Philadelphia why this franchise belongs to him now. Look at this, getting out in transition. We know he's one of the fastest, if not fastest players with the ball in the league. All 5 of the Lakers are back. No problem for the young fella. He gets down the lane on LeBron James with the floater. Now check this out. This possession right here, he does not pass the ball. He's at 2 dribbles right now. Most guys would give up the ball when they get trapped. He's at 5 dribbles, 6, 7, 8, 9. Keep going. He see the open gap, 10, 11 dribbles in that possession. Tyrese Maxey saying, you know what, I don't trust nobody that much. I trust myself. This organization is in my hands. He's been a problem over the last week or so, 2 weeks. In the 76ers history, 4th player with 12 straight 25-point games, joining Joel Embiid, Allen Iverson, and Wilt Chamberlain.
Perk, Tyrese Maxey has certainly been a glimmer of hope here for a 76ers team that desperately needed some. But let's talk about this as a whole here as we welcome in our reporter Tim Bontemps, who is in Wells Fargo Center ahead of their game against the Denver Nuggets. Tim, Embiid, Paul George, they have already been ruled out of this game. What's the timetable for their return here?
Well, yeah, Malika, while Perk is right, the Tyrese Maxey's been on a roll. The Sixers have been without both Paul George and Joel Embiid as they've gone on this 4-game winning streak and got themselves back on the fringes of the Eastern Conference play-in picture. And as you said, they will not be in the lineup tonight against the Denver Nuggets. Now, both those guys were on the court working out here at the arena ahead of Wednesday's win against the Kings. I'm told the same thing will happen tonight before tonight's game against Nikola Jokic and the Denver Nuggets, but that there remains no official timetable on when the 2 of them will be back. Embiid has been dealing with both the foot soreness and the knee swelling that's caused him to miss the past couple of weeks, and Paul George is dealing with a finger injury he suffered last week. He's got a splint on it, and he's trying to make that work and get acclimated to it. But for a Sixers team that's heard the words ramp up a ton this season as things have gone off the rails, as you said, that remains the operative word with both those guys. They will not be available tonight on our air in this game against the Nuggets.
And for a team coming in with Nikola Jokic, that could spell a big night for the 3-time MVP without Joel, that stopper in the middle. Tim Bontemps, thank you so very much. Let's talk a little bit more here about the Denver Nuggets because they found some success in the duo of Nikola Jokic and Russell Westbrook. They've assisted on each other's baskets 166 times this season. That's the 2nd best connection between teammates in the league. Here's Michael Malone on his starting tandem.
I just like keeping Russell out there. I think the Russ-Nikola dynamic is the best 2-man combination in the NBA right now, and I didn't want to disrupt their rhythm. You know, hopefully we can try to find a rhythm with that group.
Okay, so find a rhythm is what Michael Malone's hoping for, telling you that they're the best tandem in the NBA. The Nuggets have lost 3 straight. Offense, Brian, has not been the problem here. When you're making that calculation of Russ in the starting lineup, do you stick with him there knowing that maybe without those bigger bodies like Aaron Gordon, their defense could suffer just a little bit?
Well, the number 1 fan of Russell Westbrook in the NBA is Nikola Jokic, and number 2 appears to be Michael Malone. He's made the decision to bring Gordon back in the lineup and take Christian Brown out. That is not the direction the franchise thought they were going to go at the beginning of the season. They did not envision Westbrook having this big of a role. Teams who have given Westbrook this big of a role in recent years have, maybe not thought it was the best move late in the playoffs, but they believe in this system. Jokic supports it. They're getting good play, and so he's rolling the dice and going with these 2 guys going forward.
Yeah, I think this was not the design, but I do love the validation that Russell Westbrook is getting, his ability to really reshape the narrative, and the fact that Nikola Jokic, who is the greatest player right now, the hardest to stop in the NBA, is able to find someone and say, hey, we need to value him moving forward, that's great. But I think the only thing that concerns me is the fact that you wanted that type of production with Russ probably coming off the bench, knowing that he had accepted that role the last few years. They have the 4th lowest bench points per game at just over 28. So that is a concern moving forward, that if this doesn't work, what else do they have as the games go on, especially in the playoffs?
Well, I think, look, iron sharpens iron, and I love competition in the locker room. I think it's healthy for teams, right? And especially teams that are trying to compete and go win a title, like the Denver Nuggets are trying to get their 2nd win. I think this actually helps Jamal Murray, right? Michael Malone saying those comments publicly, he like, hold on, you forgetting about me? Because if you look over the past couple of weeks, when Russ and Jokic been getting his shine and getting his recognition, all of a sudden Jamal Murray game has elevated. You may need that at times.
Russell Westbrook has long been your
Wendy agreeing with me.
Favorite player, yes.
I love when Wendy agrees with me.
That why the proof is in the pudding here for the Denver Nuggets. You can watch Nikola Jokic, Russell Westbrook, and the Nuggets tonight on our ESPN doubleheader right here. And after that, Kevin Durant, his 5th time back in the Bay since leaving Golden State. NBA Countdown tips off our coverage.